We begin our Chronicles of the Past with the consequences of the Elemental War and the rise of one of the greatest leaders in history, Korth, Master of Tribes. In the year 315 after the Shattering, the Saban races appeared, suddenly and violently in the world. Quickly, they set to infighting as they segregated into their elemental affinities of fire, earth, air, and water. The Fire Sabans began to spread their influence. They sought allies, trade, partners, anything to oppose the people of the earth. To this end, they came to the fertile lands of Dolamar. An abundance of food and mineral made this land desirable to many. But the Fire Saban were interested in more than resources, for on the plains of Dolamar existed the fierce tribes of the Krog, and so they extended a hand to these primitives. But within 2 years, the Elemental War had come to Dolamar in full, and with it came all its specters: famine, disease, destruction. The Krogish tribes rebelled against their former guests, now conquerors. Over the coming decades of conflict, the Krog are seemingly doomed to defeat, infighting crippling any chance of mounting a defense. In contrast, the well-trained and unified Fire Saban began to subjugate and harness the ferocity of the Krogish tribesmen for use in their war machine. In the year 370, the Elemental War was nearing its climax. One of the last free tribes, the Sharptusk, begins to do something that has eluded the Krog people so far. They rally under a single leader. His name was Korth, a Krog more cunning and ferocious than had ever been witnessed. Within a single decade, the Fire Saban were routed and forced from Dolamar, and one by one, the tribes flocked to their champion. Korth had his eyes set on something greater, though. In 385, in a move that brought the concern of the world to bear, Korth declared himself the Master of Tribes, leader of all tribes, of all Krog throughout Massagon. He called upon the world's peacekeepers, the Elves, to join him in quelling the threat of the Elemental War, to end the aggression of the Saban once and for all. The Elves responded, crafting for him a great blade of fire and steel known as Primacy. The Blade of Leadership. In unity with the Elves, Korth began his assault upon the Fire Sabans in 390. With the Legion of Krog under his banners, armed with the crafts of the Elves, and bolstered by the fleets of his new ally, the Master of Tribes was bound and determined to repay the Fire Saban Empire for the pain they had been so willing to deliver. The great leader gave his people victory after victory, and with each land retaken, and each army routed, his fame grew. In the year 400, Korth received a missive from an elven ally that the Fire Saban's city center, Brynna, would be emptied as their empress traveled in a diplomatic envoy, and it would be ripe for the taking. Capturing such a position would not only deprive the Fire Saban of their seat of leadership, but also be seen as a direct reprisal and recompense for the pains of Dolamar's occupation. Korth gathered a cadre of loyal, capable, and mighty Krog to his side, and struck out for the heart of the Saban Empire. He had been betrayed. The city streets were emptied, to be sure, but once Korth had reached the city square, the site of the prize flame, the Mother Fetter, he was deep within their trap. His trusted allies had given him false information. Archers rained death down upon the trapped Krog. With Korth's disappearance and the loss of primacy, the infighting among the tribes began anew. Desperation to claim the title Master of Tribes led to the rise of many great Krog, including Utgar, the Bloodsworn, and Dular of the Closed Fist. But none of this prepared them for the destruction of Dolamar at the hands of the Gnomes. To this day, the land bears the mark of Korth's fall, and is known as the Barrens. But that is a tale for another time.